For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best.
All right, welcome in everybody. Things haven't been great tonight, but at least the music's good as always. So can bob a little bit to that. Start the stream off in a positive way, even though the trajectory isn't great. Much like the ending of this season for this team. Things are going in a predictable way that I think most of us saw coming. At least for a while now. I think it's been pretty uniform. I think it's been, we talk about how the writing's on the wall. It's more difficult when you're dealing with it head on. It's like a car crash is going to happen and you can prepare all you want for it, but when it gets there, it sucks. So, we're not quite mathematically eliminated completely, but boy, do we have to do some calculus if we're going to try and get in the playoffs. So, this is almost the end of the road, boys and girls. This is almost it. And like I said, it's kind of where it should have been all along. We knew pretty much what the sum of this season was going to be. It sucks. But, there's always next season to look forward to. I think there's a lot of good things to look forward to and be optimistic about. But it's tough to keep that in your mind's eye right now with just getting absolutely demolished by a club legend on another team in your own house. It sucks. So let's get AJ in. We'll talk to him. Hopefully he can cheer us up. Maybe he'll have some sunshine pumping, some happy thoughts, some good things to say about this game. I don't think there were anything. They're just to tee you off, AJ. I mean, the press conference from Rob, not only did it, verify what we saw on the pitch tonight, but, it screamed so loudly and resonated so much with at least me that these guys were just defeated. Like, most of them just went right to the locker room afterwards and looked depressed. Like, of course they did because of what happened. But, you get up for big games against big teams, you tie them, you don't beat them, at least not recently. And then for games like this, you just completely don't show up. It's like they probably saw it coming or something. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, it's essentially Atlanta United, has all season played up to competition and played down to competition, and they should be able to get themselves up for a game like this where it is do or die. The playoffs are on the line, and there was not enough energy the entire match, and coming into it. They're always saying the right things, saying, okay, yeah, these are all finals. We have to give everything. Moranchuk, in this really strange social media video where he's, clamoring for fans to, shout and be at the stadium. And yeah, this is the lowest attendance that it's ever been, even in COVID, I feel like. And yeah, I think you see it on the pitch too. It's not because of the fans. It's completely deserved by the club, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean the squad doesn't deserve it, but it is kind of translated in the performance. They're just very pedestrian, not making runs. Just I think countless times that the squad just looks defeated before they even step on the pitch. And Josef Martinez, like I said in my preview, he's gonna be motivated to play against us, and here he is. He's in form, and this is what happens. He scores in bunches, and yeah, I mean, for us to give him that much time, I mean, it is criminal, absolutely criminal for us to do that. And I mean, Atlanta United, we have it all to do. We you know, in terms of what we need to do to get to the playoffs, we have to rely on a lot of people. Yeah, the calculus is too much for 10:30 at night. And yeah, it's as far as Rob Valentino, I mean, he said, yeah, it was a nothing first half. Pretty much was. We very much didn't really really show up. And as far as the second half, it's a little bit better, but I mean, it just the very effective giving Josef Martinez to absolute just gifts in terms of looks. And yeah, I mean, this is a game that I think it's through and through kind of an exemplification of the season. Like, you allow the opposition to pretty much go ahead at home, and our record is, I think, 1 win, I think 3 or 4 draws, and then I think now it's 11 losses when the opposition scores first. That is piss poor.
Yeah.
That Rob Valentino basically mentioned, hey, yeah, there's, it seemed like there was a lack of energy, a lack of fight, just a lack of will to want to win. And he said if he had pinpointed it, he would have, tried to solve it. And yeah, I think you can see it in this game where, yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, as far as, there is talent on the team, but just as a cohesive unit, they are not playing like a cohesive unit. It is coaching. It is the talent that's on the pitch as well. It's not quite there, and yeah, there was silly fouls by veteran players. Just not enough movement when we need. Not enough heads up when they should be passing the ball into space, into open players that are not marked.
Yeah, what Rios did was criminal in that one opportunity. That was criminal. That is like, line them up for to be executed. Like, that's just strikers should not do that.
Yeah, he could have just easily laid it off to Saba and it would be 1-0.
Yeah, it's like what's his name? The striker from Ted Lasso, who his whole thing was, you got to learn how to pass it because you're not gonna, it's Jamie Tart or whatever his name was. Yeah, it's like it's just that. It's basics. That's basics.
Yep. And you still saw them pass to each other a little bit after that, which was good. But I mean, yeah, then Saba had a moment where he should have passed.
Yep.
And Saba also had a couple moments where he was, in behind, one-on-one with the keeper. Put it on goal, but not a good chance. Or not a good shot. It was a very good chance, and should have buried it.
Yeah, he took a too heavy of a touch, and it slightly got away from him. Goalie was able to close him down, and another opportunity earlier is off the crossbar for him too.
Yeah, off the crossbar, and then another shot that was just narrowly wide. I mean, he had our best chances tonight, and not clinical enough. It's just,
let me just read the our XG for this was 1.72 according to SofaScore. And theirs was 0.9, so not even 1. So that's fun.
What it is. That's again an exemplification of our season. We have enough chances to put this team away, yet we do not do it. And yeah, I mean, we essentially eschewed the possession. We allowed them to, have a little bit more of it. And then there were moments where, we were trying to play with it that, we just were listless with it and, weren't doing very much. Smartly, we let the ball just go to Montreal and, figured, okay, we'll just hit them more on the counter. And I pose this question to you because it seemed like, initially anyway, Johnny Fortune, he was put on the left, and he did play there a little bit earlier, kind of in the half, but it seemed like, kind of more the second half, he was a little bit more in midfield. How do you feel like that move went, and what was Valentino trying to achieve?
To put, moving him more towards the midfield later into the game?
Yes, later.
That clearly was because we were getting overwhelmed in the midfield, because Montreal had a 4-man midfield and we did not. So Tristan was out of his depth, being overwhelmed a bit, which I could have almost thought he was going to be thrown out of the game, because he was forced to make some, desperate moves to survive the midfield. To your question, I think maybe he just really wanted to have the Mascara card still, because he really values that piece. So he's gonna put Ajani up there instead of, Wolf is a typical pick for that, but maybe he just was like, Ajani maybe showed something in training or something like that, convinced him maybe this would be a good idea. And you know what? When I saw it, when the lineups came out, I wasn't upset with it. I'm like, Johnny's quick too, and he's a go-getter. He wants to make things happen. I don't hate it. Put him in an offensive position. That could be interesting. Could be exciting. So I was there for it. And you still got the Mascara, card up your sleeve for later in the game, because he's just not a starter for us. It's just better to use him as a super sub. Unfortunately, it didn't really come to anything this game, but I think that was probably the reasoning.
Yeah, but I think the difficulty is Fortune is not a player that's accustomed to taking on his man and trying to beat his man on the dribble. And I think you saw very quickly that when Mascara came on, that he had the beating of his marker a lot easier, but it also is the final third decision making that just is baffling, and baffling for most of the the squad. That just very questionable balls being put in, maybe too early sometimes, not the right type of ball, not enough players making runs towards the near post if it were, or really just blind crosses. And it's just, I think earlier on this season, I think I had, because of the number of assists and all that, Brooks Lennon, a solid player, but the difficulty, I think, in his usefulness and his value, it really dwindles because defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired. And when he's just blindly crossing and, head's not up, it's, there's oodles of energy from him, but I am ready to see the back of Lennon, because it's not helping our defense. It's not helping our attack either, because essentially we rely on him to just be out wide in that space, pump balls in. It's so predictable. It just becomes a crutch that we can't get rid of.
Yeah.
And it's just because we're almost always try to pretty much allowing him to, pretty much be in that space, and opposition also allow him to be in that space because they know, okay, yeah, well, he might pump a good ball in once in a while. It's like 7 times this season. Okay, great, but it's not where it's gonna be like, okay, it's just absolutely we have to mark him. It's like, okay, this is gonna kill us in this, in this game. And
because we're slow, we don't have dynamic, players running onto the ball. Like, they don't have to worry about cutbacks. They don't have to really worry about anything besides the cross, which Big George Campbell was more than happy to handle for them. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
now Montreal are in a better prime, playoff spot, and now we're languishing. I think 12th, maybe 13th. This is the absolute worst season for Atlanta United.
Yeah.
Even in the COVID era.
Yeah.
Like, period. Like, it's just there have been a lot of talented players in this squad, and there are way more talented players than in the 2020 squad. And yet,
it's
this
just
underperformance.
It's just like. Sorry, finish your thought. No, finish your thought.
Yeah. This is absolutely a travesty of an underperformance. Atlanta United should not be this bad this season.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. There's no real good reason for it. It seems to me that, and they kind of talked about this a little bit in the press conference, that where is the lack of, why is there so little chemistry? It seems to baffle Rob, he's like, I maintain a consistent starting 11. These guys practice with each other, hang out with each other all the time, and yet they look like they've never played together when they play sometimes. And it's just, he's baffled. The reporters asking him the questions are like, we're sitting here scratching our head. We don't know why. And Rob's like, I got no answers for you. If I knew, I'd fix it. And I'm just like, and then, you have guys, like you say, with talent, and we certainly do. And yet they can't, right the ship or figure it out either, be a player leader to be like, okay, here's where the chemistry is lagging, we need to fix that. Instead, they just add to it. They add to the lack of chemistry. It's like, adding by subtracting. It's ridiculous. So I am as clueless as Rob as to why we can't figure out how to have cohesive soccer play. It's just, what are we doing?
He's not going to say it. He's not going to say this, but it's this. It's basically, there is talent. There's not maybe enough cohesion in the talent, because it's basically square pegs in round holes, and they are not fitting in a system that basically makes sense, that works, that just, the way we want to play is not really conducive to the players that we have at hand. And we went from a more possession-based type of team to a team that now wants to play more on the counter. But the problem is, when you play on the counter, you have to be clinical
and fast
to vary your chances. And we're pretty fast with some players on the wings, but with Rios, it's not happening. He brings a little bit of hold up ability, but we don't need that in a non-possessive based system.
Yeah.
So yes, Jamal Tiare has been a little bit injured with concussion protocol and all that. That's probably part of it. But if we're trying to play on the counter, then absolutely, you need to play with the right players. But this is the thing too. Jamal Tiare, if we're going to try to play with the ball a lot more, I mean, it's not going to really be the case. We're not really going to be doing that with Jamal Tiare in the 11. And we do need that dynamic. We can't just play on the counter, because it puts us under the cosh too much. We can't defend well enough in our box to do that. And it is as well the shielding in front of the defense not good enough either, and it's just like these players are misfits in a system that was not built for them to come in. And with Bocanegra finally gone, I mean, Garth Lagerwey, it is this. We've talked about it, but it just needs to be, I think, reinforced. All the pressure is on him now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, so he did a little like thing with the fans for like 20 minutes, answered like 6 questions.
Pre-selected, sanitized questions.
Exactly. But one of the big, takeaways was that, they justified the price increases of the season tickets. And he said that it was still good value for the money.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't think anybody there tonight saw that there was good value for the money. It's basically, you have a nearly empty stadium, probably about, I don't know what it was announced as, paid attendance, but of course it was probably like 40,000 or something like that, but there were probably like 18 to 20K people there. And Chance, they were petering out before they even were able to start. And it is one of those things where, the Viking ATL chant, usually, all inclusive, pretty easy for casuals to get behind. The Atlanta call and response, Atlanta United, also pretty easy for most of the stadium to. They were petering out in like the, pretty much second time we were saying it.
Yeah.
At times, it is just
It's the lowest of the lows. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, we were wondering where rock bottom was. Well, welcome. Here we are. It can't really. Know. Yeah, I mean,
it can though.
It can, but this with the way that this club is set up, I just can't see us doing worse than this anytime soon. And you're talking about how we get a new technical director coming in, like. Literally, you get like anyone, and it's probably going to do better for where we are. Like, if you get new players in, new coach, just a new clean sheet of players, basically, there's very little chance you're gonna end up out of the playoffs again next year. It's just very little to me. So
I would slightly agree with the number of MLS playoff spots in each division, in each conference. Yeah, you would think. But alas, we are set outside of a playoff spot. But it's also this. The rock bottom. Okay, we probably won't be wooden spoon, but we are pretty close. And gave
them a run for their money, San Jose and Chicago. But
exactly. It's like it's only getting worse. I mean, Nashville, I don't know what their thing was tonight in terms of what their scoreline, but they could and maybe have usurped us. Like, it's this.
No, they're still in 13th. They're 1 point behind us.
Well, thank goodness. But the whole conversations about say. Charlotte, Orlando, Nashville, who's our rival? It doesn't even matter at this point.
We don't have the privileges right now of having a rival. Like, we need to be able to do something first before we can start establishing and having swagger and then talking smack and getting fired up to play another team. It's like Georgia Tech versus Georgia. Georgia's probably going to win 99 out of 100 games, and it's just, to call it a rivalry is historic and everything, but it's like sports-wise, not so much.
Right, and it's literally this. It's like when we get to these moments where the social media team they have some kind of banter ready to go. I mean, it's this. It's like I think the very fact is that we haven't been able to see enough of those, and that's definitely a bummer. But it is the club, the hierarchy needs to have some shame. It's just straight up what it is. I mean, to push any sort of like rivalry talk or like any of that type of thing throughout the season, and also, kind of pretty much still talk about how, okay, yeah, the playoffs are the aim, and we have high ambitions, and I mean, you got to sort out the foundation first. You can't even talk about trophies if you can't even sort out the foundation. Like it's
frustrating.
Just, like,
I wanted to show the stream this. Guys, you remember this? You remember this these days? This is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution cover of Atlanta United winning 2018 MLS Cup. Like,
seems like a lifetime.
We are in the polar opposite end of, our MLS career right now, compared to that. We need to I think perhaps next season will be a good step in the right direction to working back to that, but it's going to be a long climb, I think, guys. But we are so far away from it. I wanted to use the rock bottom talk to give us some hope that the only direction is really up right now, I feel like. So I feel like, at the very least, we'll see progress next year. And I think that's something to be optimistic about, because this year, again, I was checked out like halfway through. Like when we sold Almada and GG, I was like, okay, it's probably a wash. I mean, how could you? How could you?
Even before that.
I mean, yeah.
Even before that, we were probably like, yeah, we should probably sell Almada.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like, if he stuck around or whatever, we'd have a chance of upsetting teams and just doing weird things and probably sneaking into the playoffs. But when we got rid of them, I mean, there's just no chance. This is a fool's errand to try and think that we're going to make something out of this season. And like I said at the very outset of this, we all saw it coming. It just sucks to finally arrive here. So anyway, with that, let's look in the chat, see what you all are talking about. We got a lot of comments tonight. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Sorry?
Exactly. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out even after this very, very piss poor result. And definitely,
it's a bummer.
Help us out. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new.
Well, people are helping us out 100%. And we'll get to that in a little bit because I saw it in the chat. So Kyle Apger says, well, friends, we're down to the wire. Unfortunately, old memories came back to haunt us. Happy for Josef's brace, but man, it hurts how bad our offense is at executing plays. Donta Spate says, this is sad why we let our best players go and then beat us. Matthew Harrington says, I didn't feel a sense of urgency today from the squad. RJ Nelson said, around the 39th minute, XG was 0.26 to there at 0.14. Yeah, snooze fest. Donta also says, we don't have no leader on our team. Anu Wiseman says, we don't even have 10 wins. That's criminal. I mean, just to frame things for a second, we led a team that, first of all, has never won in Atlanta and hasn't won, away in 15 games in close to 7 months. That beat us. That is, like, I remember when Nashville was on their tremendous losing streak and we helped them out. And then Montreal comes to town and we're like, oh, what do you have a problem? There's a problem here? Oh, you haven't won away in 15 games? Let's help you out too. I feel like we're just giving away things for free. Let me read a couple more of these because there's quite a few before we get to our first guest. Anu also says, yeah, we sold him down to he's playing for Brazil. He's playing in Brazil. He's talking about Almada. Tommy ATL. Ooh, you came to the ATL for this one, Tommy, and yeah, he says, sigh, let this season end. Yeah, I mean, whew. Anu also says, he's talking about Almiron. Ingest100 says, thank you, AJ and co. Hats off to you both for keeping this channel going, even with us so down right now. Seriously, thanks for the therapy sessions. No problem. It's our pleasure. And hopefully, in the future, hopefully next season, these won't be so much therapy sessions as more like jubilant celebrations. That's what we're hoping for, because that'll be a heck of a lot more fun. Because, yeah, I agree with you. It's tough, to get out here and to do these shows, but after like just getting demolished and having a piss poor showing, but you guys make it worth doing. So Tommy also says the team is mentally broken. They 100% are. I've been saying this for a while. We need to get some mentally strong players in, people who are undaunted, people who cannot be like distracted or mentally snapped. Like we need strong mental players, and we haven't had it for years. Character too, yeah. And
it's this. I know you want to get to the rest of the chat there, but it's players like that were, there are time here. Players like LGP. He was still kind of lambasted sometimes because he got yellows on a very, very high clip. Franco Escobar. I mean, the will to win from those type of players, though, you just don't see that in this type of squad.
Yeah.
Right now, LGP was that type of guy that he had the dark arts in him. He was able to play with ball. He was just a player that really wanted to win, and you could see that every moment when he was on the pitch. And who can we say that about?
Yeah. It's hard to really tell. I mean, you'd hope Moranchuk is in that camp, but I mean, you talk about players of character. I don't see a lot from him because he just seems like he's a meek and mild type guy, a guy of not a lot of words. I get English is not his first language, but I just feel like there isn't a lot of bravado, confidence, or things exuding from him. From his personality. Obviously, he plays confident and he plays well. So that's what matters, and that's fine. But I would like the other part of that in another player, hopefully a 9.
Yeah, I think it's this. It's, from a number 10, from a more kind of languid type of playing style, I'm not expecting him to be that type of guy. He's probably a little bit more in the sense kind of Miggy. But to a much lesser degree. Obviously, he's not as smiley. It's not, he probably connects a little bit less, unfortunately, as of the moment with the fan base. But it really is this squad needs a connection from the club, players, to the fans.
Yeah.
It's not there.
100%. Let me get to a few more of these, and then we'll have... Yes, detrimental. And then we'll get Gavin on. Christopher Wary says, DC United came back on the road to win tonight, so Nashville feels like us. Yeah, good for them. Shannon Sharp says, Atlanta United Fan TV, are you all censored or don't know better? Individual criticism is necessary here. Are you all censored or don't know better? I think you're going to have to... Shannon followed up by saying... too much rationalizing. Alexi Sleaze, Saba doing exactly what the Latin guys used to do, play among themselves. Can you see that? It hurts the team. I'm not exactly sure what the point is for saying that. What the Latin guys used to do. Well, in rationalizing, I'm not quite sure what the point is to... we've talked about all the things that have happened throughout this season and what, is ailing this team. That's
really the point of is to rationalize what is happening. We can get completely emotional and just rag on every single player or whatever.
I think they're rationalizing that we're trying to, explain away why Alexi Sleaze and Saba are doing what the Latin guys do, just playing amongst themselves and not anyone else. I don't think that's, first of all, the case at all. I think that they just have no chemistry with each other. I don't think you're seeing, a really good chemistry between certain players and not with others. I don't think you see it anywhere on the team. So I don't think that is a a good criticism.
I think the problem is they're playing at times where there's not enough instruction, there's not enough patterns of play where they know where they are going to be, and so it's not instinctual. It becomes way too lost in thought, and they're taking too much time to make a decision to where they want to play. Like, let's be real. Alexei Miranchuk, when he came in, it looked like, oh yeah, he's gonna play fast. It's we're gonna be here. He knows where he's gonna play the ball before he gets the ball. And now he's been here a little bit longer, maybe a month longer, and now he's playing like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's the speed of thought, not quick. Basically heads are not up. The players that are making runs not being rewarded with the ball. And again, players are not going to continue to make those runs if they're not rewarded. And it just continues to happen where, it's the coaching, it's the players being in the same zones as their fellow guy. And basically they don't have an out ball. They don't have, there aren't enough triangles being created so that they can move up the pitch. But instead, it's, okay, we have that long diagonal. We have to do it almost every single time because we just can't play out.
Yeah.
Like, we can't play through the middle. There are not enough incisive balls, and players are not looking to make that pass.
Yeah.
And so then, the players in the middle aren't making that run. There's just this vicious cycle that just feeds it within itself. It has nothing to do with if they're Latin or whichever. You can have all sorts of different types of players, but if they buck the system of how they can play, then they can play together.
Yeah.
Like, if they're a dynamic type of player that, if like you have all Brazilians, well, you can't have them all play the same exact way. Like, you need them to be a cohesive system in order to win trophies.
Right.
Like, it's not just one type of player is the solution.
And when, Sharon says individual criticism is necessary here, I mean, we've been individually criticizing the players where it needs to happen. We have even tonight, like specifically with Rios. There isn't but what our main point is that it's not just good to criticize one person or the individuals. It's the whole team is lacking chemistry. So, I think we addressed that enough. RJ, also, so Jeff Vanderland donated $10 to us. Thank you very much, Jeff. We really appreciate that. You said, thank you for being fans and speaking truth. Keep producing Atlanta United content. Love from Las Vegas. Wow. Okay. Wow. Awesome. We need to hear that story of why you're in Las Vegas. You moved there away from Atlanta, or did you find yourself to be a fan of Atlanta outside of Atlanta itself? Like, that's an interesting story. We'd love to hear that. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So before we read the rest of these, which there are, keep them coming, guys. There's quite a few. Let's get our good buddy Gavin in here. Gavin, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I know it's been a tough season, not just a tough game. So give us your thoughts. What happened? And I typically will ask, like, where do we go from here? But I think we all know. So
yeah. I think the season's over. I mean, I thought it was over a long time ago, in fact. As we said, mental state is at an all-time low this team. I mean, you saw in Rob Valentino's press conference, he's like, I don't know, I don't got an answer. You got an answer? Because we can use that. We can surely use that. Like, I mean, this game, I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this loss if we could actually finish. We should win that game. I mean, I feel like we have, like, games where we lose, but we always have something to say where if we did this and that, we can win. And today, you should have won, and that's how it is. That's how it's been for every home game, especially. You saw Abba had the most chances. He missed one. He hit the crossbar. Rios, like you said, criminal, should have passed to Saba and should have scored there. There's just all these plays. If we did this, if we did that, we would have scored here. The game would have been different. We probably would have won. That's just what we're saying now. That's just where we're sitting here today saying about Atlanta United. If he passed the ball, if he actually got that shot on goal, if Saba didn't get that extra heavy touch, they could have scored. The game would have been different. We could have won. Like, we should have won this game. And I feel like I say that a lot. And that's just how it is. I mean, this team is very bad. Like AJ said, we're not wooden spoon, but we're close. We're close to it. This is not a team I enjoy watching. I used to enjoy watching, 2018 Atlanta United. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? That was popcorn. And now, filled with players, filled with soccer/football players who are good and some for depth. Moranchuk, he's done good, but like AJ said, he's looked like everyone else throughout his time here. I'm ready for the season to end.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way we can make. There's a way mathematically, but yeah, calculus. It's 11-10.
Following up on that, it's like, do we even deserve to be in the playoffs? So I don't think so. Why would we? Like, you want to get in the playoffs just to get absolutely, shellacked by the top seed? Like, I don't think that's great at all. But you could say at least one thing: if after this season we kind of go on like a historic, like the Red Bulls, and just stay in the playoffs for forever, we could at least like tag this onto as like the start of like, well, we did technically make the playoffs that year, so that's something. But that's literally the scraping the bottom of like a benefit or positive outlook on that.
Yeah.
The
question is, sorry, man. Yeah, but the real question on that is like, if we make the playoffs, who's that really for? Is it for the fans? Is it for the players that are existing on the squad? Does it build their morale? Because yes, if they do get shellacked in the first round, that's not exactly going to build them up for the next season. Obviously last season it kind of, in the sense that we lost to the eventual champions, so okay, sure, we can hang that hat on
and
that,
we beat them one time.
Right.
No one else was able to do that.
Right. But I think that gave us the false sense of, grandiose. That's not the word. The false sense of like how good this team actually was at the beginning of the season, because I think we quickly saw wasn't the case of how good we thought we were. We were fool's gold, and it very much was the case that, we need to be broken up, and we did. And this is how far that rock bottom goes. It feels like, really like Dwayne Johnson did pretty much put us into the mat here. We, we're just waiting for the people's elbow at this point.
Yeah.
Count us out.
Gavin, was there anything from this game that you maybe liked that was entertaining or interesting? I could name a couple of things.
Pedro Amador looks good. He's probably the best signing we've had this season. He provided a good assist to Rios. Throughout the season, he's pretty good. Amador looks good. It was a good goal. That was the only, it just sucks because Montreal only had a couple good chances all game, and they put those away. It just sucks because it's mainly Atlanta. They had the ball, and then they put away their chances, and when we had more, we just couldn't. So it's hard to find positives when you can't score goals as much as chances you get when they have. It's just sad. Sad to watch this. But yeah,
What did you think? What did you think of Josef Martinez getting a large crowd applause in our stadium when he scored?
At the same time, I have mixed feelings about this one because, yes, Josef did a lot for this club. He did really good things for this club. But at the same time, it's the enemy. It's Josef Martinez on Montreal, not Josef Martinez on Atlanta United. At the same time, I'm thinking, okay, cool, but you're cheering for the enemy, which is kind of weird, and that's just kind of sad at the same time. is like you're being scored on by the player that your best player, arguably your best player in club history. It's sad to see you cheering for him, scoring on you, scoring a brace, pretty much ending your playoff hopes.
Yeah.
I would say it's sad to see that, but at the same time, I mean, it's mainly sad to see that, but at the same time, it's cool. It's kind of cool because he shouldn't have. I mean, it's pretty sad to just see that. I think that's all I got.
It's like good for him as a human being because we like him as a human being, but when he's on the other team, probably don't celebrate the other team, but it is what it is.
If you're not playing for us, we should not be celebrating for you. And I get it's Josef. I get he's the best player in our club history, but I mean, it's just that.
And it just like hurts that, the fans are having like more interest and fun for rivals, big name strikers coming here and beating us up, like with Miami coming here with Josef scoring and our crowd going like, and then our guys are just like, oh well, we're here too, I guess. Like, it must not feel great for them as well.
Right. It's on the level of this when, I think we've collectively here talked about it before, where Vancouver, when Josef Martinez was on a crazy scoring streak, and they advertised pretty much that, hey, come watch, the record goal scorer come and probably dunk on us at our home. Like, yeah, that doesn't feel good. It is very much, in my opinion, it's candy ass behavior.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we cannot allow ourselves to do this, to where we cheer the opposition, even if it's Josef Martinez. Yes, everything that you said, Gavin, applies. Like, he is arguably our best player ever in our history. He did incredible things for us. He won us trophies. The problem is, yeah, you don't have to boo him.
No,
but
definitely not.
You don't cheer his goals. And then, yeah, absolutely all respect to him after the match. Clap him, give him thumbs up, all that, which we did.
Yeah.
After he,
but
he
whistle
came
to
around
whistle, he's the other team.
Exactly. You cannot do that as a fan base. Like, this is how far we've come, essentially. Like, in the past, it would have been, yeah, it's pretty much us against the world. You're not on our side, you're not getting cheers. Like, that's not going to happen. And, yeah, I think there's just not, like, he felt right at home. That's why it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to score. Because I have scored so many times here. Like, what else has changed for him? He played during the COVID era. It was not great. It was not great as far as some of the attendance then too. But it's just, yeah, we can't allow ourselves to be that fan base where, yeah, we just kind of allow them to just walk over us.
Yeah.
Like, our stadium's too big. There's too many of us. Like, we did, though. And I'm just advocating we absolutely cannot do that again.
Yeah,
like,
well, we need something to fill that void, because, like, absent something, fans will do other things. So that's
what it is. Because that's why Messi, when Josef Martinez, when big name players, because that's the thing. Fans feel more of a connection with those players than the players on the team.
Yeah.
Like, on billboards around the stadium, which there aren't anymore, really, but who's on, like, there used to be, it used to be like Greg Garza. It used to be like, players that you wouldn't even think that LA United would be advertising, but everyone knows every player on the team. Now, who does the casual fan know on the team?
Yeah.
They don't even know the DPs on the team. They don't even know who they are rooting for.
Any given day of the week, I might not know because, with all the accounting they're doing, like, I might not know who the DPs are. So, Gavin, do you have anything to say about that before I read a couple more of these comments here?
Yeah, I mean, my stepdad always asks me, like, who's that guy's name? I haven't heard of him before. Like, I'll say like, oh, who scored the goal? Oh wait, oh, who got that yellow? That was stupid. I was like, oh yeah, that's for example, Alexei Moranchuk. That was really stupid. Like, I don't know, but like,
Yeah.
it's like me and my stepdad, we're good fans, but it's like he's like stopped watching the team because I mean it's not fun to watch anymore. I mean when we're together we'll watch it, but he's just on his phone the entire time. He'll only like get instant replays of big moments. That's about it. But we used to watch like the entire match. Now it's not fun to watch, and I don't blame him.
Oh yeah.
I'm on my phone too. I'm watching the match. I'm like on the Discord as well. But yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
the one thing you said though, like Vancouver, come watch Joseph score on us. That reminds me. I think New England, or I don't know what club this was. I think it was New England, but it was like, come watch Lionel Messi come score on us. Come watch the goat of soccer, the team that we're playing against, come absolutely beat our ass. I mean, that's not right. I mean, that's not what we did, but it's basically, if we're cheering for Joseph, then that's just sad. That's not good.
It's levels to it, and it's pretty close. I lament that for you, like the good times that you had with your stepdad, and now it's like kind of being reduced to a more like subdued. You guys are not able to connect. I think this is really what it is. It's like, if I could put that in front of Garth Lagerwey, I would want to, because that is what he needs to fix. Because it's not only the connection with us and the club, it is a thing that you're doing with your family, and in order to like, it was a thing that, oh yeah, it was appointment viewing. It was, are you going to that Atlanta United match? Like, that's the hottest ticket in town. It's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
And Garth Lagerwey is saying that it's still good value for the money. Yeah, he ain't paying shit. Of course it's good value for the money.
Yeah. So I need to get into some of these comments. So Shannon's commenting again, saying football fans world would not be having this conversation when their team lost like this. As fans, we need more informed analysis and accountability. This is called, quote, match reactions. Guys, you're going to talk about the game and analyze what happened? So, a few things. First of all, we are a little beyond that at this point. If you want to watch analysis of how the games have gone throughout the season, you'll watch our previous videos where we break it down and talk about these things. Because this has happened, as Tommy ATL said in the chat, we've talked about it ad nauseum at this point, that it's just, it's beating a dead horse. We all know what the problems are. We all know why the team lost the way it did. It's just, we're waiting for this is a waiting room for next season. And I guess I haven't seen your name in the chat before, so I guess this is your first time. Please hang out and see more videos, see more things over time. You'll probably catch on and see like kind of what this is. And also, the vibe of this is more like you and your buddies hanging out after a game, at the bar or something, talking about it. This isn't, ESPN FC, where we're going to bring up replays and analyze and put on, take our markers out and write on the screen or anything like that. So it's fan TV, fan match reactions. Not, analyst TV. So just letting you know that's more the vibe here. And if that's not your thing, that's cool. Let's see. Kyle Apgar says, we'll need a whole revival this winter. Those blue jerseys forecasted our season, sadly. Blue as in, sad. I guess I could see that. A1 Products Moore says, mediocre team plus increased season ticket prices equals unhappy fans. I mean, I would even put us not mediocre. I'd put us as bad. I think we are bad.
We've slid into we're the worst iteration of Atlanta United this season. Like that's just the reality. I mean, it's like Atlanta United in 2020 wasn't even this bad.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gavin. You were going to say something?
Yeah, no. It's funny how you bring that up. I was literally thinking back to I was thinking of this after Joseph scored his brace. I was thinking after, team, man. I mean, if you look back, there were dark times in 2022. or dark times in 2020. I mean, this is the worst of it. I mean, when you're seeing what is an absolute joke, I don't know if y'all saw my comment yet. According to the MLS app, it said there were, what was it? It was 42,501 people. That's what the MLS app is saying that were there. AJ, you were at the game. You think how many people do you think there were? Like, what's your estimate? Like 10,000?
Yeah, I said about 18 to 20. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's an absolute lie. That's that's embarrassing. I mean, you watch the match. There's clearly, like, before the game and after the game, they show like these sky cams or whatever. Whenever they're showing like other results and stuff, there was nobody. There's like more empty seats than I'm seeing, even when there were dark times in 2022. Because 2020 there was COVID, no one was in the stadium. So
Right.
yeah,
We should caveat this. Yes, we know it's paid attendance, but just don't announce it at that point. Like, have some shame, like I said earlier, because it's this.
They can't, man. They can't. It's gotta be everything is the best. Come on, man. Like,
I get it, because there's certain things as well, because what I'm about to get to as well, like the golden spike. Like, oh yeah, the golden spike of excellence. And when they're hitting that in the stadium and we've lost, bruh, like, how demoralizing is that for any of the players to walk up there and have to hit that thing just as a consolation prize? Like, no, we need to not be that. But I understand, because they have sponsorships that they need to to really, I guess, whatever the word is, they need to appease those sponsorships. But I mean, yeah, you just at that point realize, hey, okay, like, the fans are not excited about that. It's really only like maybe like the first 5 rows, because okay, yeah, they get to see the player up close.
yeah.
But
Gavin,
like,
final thoughts?
Yeah, Gavin.
yeah. I mean, it's sad to talk about this. I mean, I miss the good days. A little not fun fact. The only time this season I believe I've come on here for a win was the Orlando game, the 3rd game of the season. The time I came on here for a win. I mean, I've not been on here as much this season because I got stuff going on, but it just sucks. Like, that's just sad. Like, and I think someone mentioned in the comments, we don't even have 10 wins this season.
Yeah.
Like, that's embarrassing. That's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
We looked pretty good at the beginning of the season. There were still some problems. Like, it was like the beginning of the season, it looked like how we looked in 2023 a little bit. And then we kept going on, and then things got dark. We sold our players, and I've mentioned this probably almost every time I've been on. The turning point in the season was the Philadelphia show.
Yep.
That was it right there. It was like, when Mosquera gave the ball away and they scored, that is when this all began. That was the beginning point of this terrible season. Before that, it was all right. Like, things are all right. You're looking to be a top 3 team. Now you're just embarrassing.
Yeah.
You're just embarrassing. I'm ready for next season.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are my final thoughts. I'm ready for next season. We need a new coach. We need strategy. We need to win. I miss winning.
Yeah.
I want to win, but we can't win. And we should have beat New York Red Bulls, but of course, in the end, you don't win that game.
I wish just like on a selfish point of view, I wish we had a better team to at least, weirdly enough, we are probably the only team that's given Miami a fair, good game, like a fair shake at it. And I just wish we had like a really high-powered team to just, really give them an amazing game. And just kind of, that would be awesome. But it sucks that like Messi's Miami and like really high level Atlanta did not ever meet. It was always ships passing in the night, which sucks. So,
yeah. How I see it is like, I'm sorry. How I see it is like any other team except for, for example, Columbus, Miami, any big team that, is a big name. It's like, okay, boys, we got to play Miami. Okay, boys, we got to play Columbus. It's like, they'll come and they'll play, because we beat Columbus and we beat Miami earlier this season, and we almost beat them again earlier, not too long ago. It's like, we're more motivated to play these big teams than like talk the MLS world. We're like, But any other opponent, like MLS, U.S. Open Cup, Indy 11, any other team that we play, it's depressing. But if we're playing a big team, I don't know what it is. The only hope that I have is if somehow, some way we make the playoff. I think I don't know. I'm just making this up, but like if we make the playoffs and we face Miami, maybe there's a chance because we basically have owned them, even though we're a terrible team. I mean,
I think they get a bye.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I'm just saying that's the only shot we probably have. If we do it.
Unfortunately, they get a bye, so it would probably have to be Cincy or Columbus, which Cincy, they play us pretty tough.
Yeah.
And so I think they're second. Columbus, with this loss, they're probably not getting second. There's hope, I think, but still, I think the drop off after that is pretty harsh. So, we'd really have to sneak in there, and it would be one of the toughest tests because Cincy, they our pest that plays on that squad, he always kills us. So, at least we probably wouldn't start Ronald Hernandez versus Cincy probably again. I would bet anyway, unless we were just completely.
You never know.
Completely bereft of the depth that we normally have. But
all right, Gavin. Yeah.
Pleasure as always.
We gotta start Ronald Hernandez on next Saturday because
yes, we do.
This upcoming Saturday we gotta start him because Lennon is suspended.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, with the silliest foul that he could have made. It was yeah. Anyway.
And he was complaining to the ref, that's my first foul. I read his lips. That's my first foul. Like that's what I see all the time. When they're complaining, I can easily read their lips and they say, that's my first foul. When they point up their when it's one finger, you can see that's my first foul. It's so easy to see that.
Never about like which number foul it is. It's like, are you the last man? Are you around other players? Is he, is it a cynical foul? Is it, did you go for the ball? Did you get your foot on the ball? Like, all of that. Were you just late? But anyway.
He's trying to be a lawyer, but it is what it is. All right, thanks, Gavin.
Thank you, guys.
Much love.
Have a good night.
See ya. All right, so let's get. Oh, interesting. I don't know. That's a. For some reason, your camera put a weird filter on you for a second, and I don't know why. You like move your.
Is it that little bubble thing?
No. It's really weird. I don't know. Okay. I've never seen anything like that before. But you need to. You do need to fix it because it's very weird. So try and do something to fix it. While we're waiting on that.
I don't know what I can
fix. It's fixed now. I don't know what that was. It was literally, it looked like blackface. I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know what that was. Anyway, strikes again. So let's see some of these comments. Xavier Sosa says, this season was over back in May and the writing was on the wall. Give us a few years and we can be top contenders for the Cups. Kamek says, this season was a wash when the club decided to stick with Pineda for another season. That's a good point. Shannon says again, a fool's errand. The team should have been better without Almada. I just don't think we're on the same wavelength at all. So I don't know about that. Christopher Wary says, teams just seem to, quote, get right against us, especially at the Benz this season. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, or I think it was in the middle, like the fact that these teams come to us and break their losing streaks, that is so demoralizing.
Yeah, it shows that the Benz is no longer a fortress, and any away team can just waltz in and do whatever they want. And it really is this. It's because there are not as many fans. There are not as many fervent fans as well inside the stadium.
Yeah.
It all plays a part.
So Shannon also says, guys, we need to be honest. Is Saba DP quality? Saba is not a DP, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't think he is DP quality, and he's not a DP, so we don't have to worry about that. Kyle Abiger says, we'll need to clean house and bring in a leader like McCarty that still has a few more good seasons. We lack leadership anywhere, as Brad isn't showing it on the field by demanding more from them. I mean, he may be, but they're not. I mean, this is what kind of Rob said, or whatever. People are not responding. Like, the players are not responding to the leaders that are there. So either you need new leaders regardless, honestly, or you need new players, which I think we probably need a little bit of both.
Right.
And,
look at the rosters from or players from previous rosters, and look at who we had on them. You had Michael Parkhurst, you had Jeff Larinowitz, you had of course LGP as well. You had a lot of guys that are hungry if they're not MLS veterans, and I mean those type of like veteran players absolutely can just kind of take you to another level, because you need that in the locker room. Like, you only have Brad Guzan, Dax McCarty, who's the lone, I think, outfield player that people respect his voice. I mean, it's just like, yeah, and Brooks Lennon was vying for a captain armband, but it's like, how far away is he from that? Like,
yeah,
it's not not the case. But
yeah, all right. So a couple more. Let me read a couple more. We get to Nick. Kyle Appiger says, too many players are just comfortable and no desire to win. We need warriors that boss their side of the field. Lost the aggression with Wiley. Giacomakis was the closest thing we had to a field general, but players didn't seem receptive to him. A1 Products More says, did I just watch a Sunday League team play a MLS team? I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was frustrating for sure. A new Wiseman says, LGP used to host those outings at Topgolf or at a steakhouse to get together with the team. The players today can't even have an asada at the training ground. Yeah. And we'll get to a couple more of these, but before we do that, let's say hi to Nick. Nick, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I know it's tough. It's tough, man, to talk about these things over and over again, week after week, when the team just doesn't perform. They should be better. They're not doing what they should be doing. The coach is sitting there going, oh, like, everyone's going, I don't know what the heck the problem is. Players can't figure it out. Do you have any ideas about what's going on?
If I had the solution for this, I'd be paid a lot more money than I get paid right now.
Yeah, same. Just roster construction, comes down to the end of the day, likely, right?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird being inside of a supporter section that the supporter section was even off tonight. Because, well, there were other factors external of the match that contributed to that, and I'm not going to get into those here, but everything felt off, even more so than usual. And it's more than just what I've seen on the field with these players not playing as a team, as I've harped on before, and so have y'all. It felt even more like it's like we took a bunch of people off a street and put them on the field and like said, here, good luck. And that's what it felt like to me for most of the match. There were a couple times we scored that goal. Of course, that was great. Rios banged it off the crossbar. That felt great too. But let me tell you, if you watch any game film in the past 8 years of Josef Martinez, and no, you do not leave him alone in the 6-yard box. He's going to score on you every freaking time he gets open.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the film. And it's not like we have defense anyway, so.
Our defense is not even that bad, but for whatever, in this case, this game, they just were lackadaisical. They're typically decent. We don't concede that much compared to other teams in the league, but for whatever reason, this game, like, Josef just had their number.
Yeah, and like you all were saying earlier, he fed off our energy.
Yeah.
And I will say right now, there was no way in hell I was going to cheer for him during the 90. I did not, and I will not. I did cheer for him afterwards, as was previously said, because I have respect for the man and
Fair.
what he did for us,
Absolutely fair.
Very fair. We were all, he came over to see us, and we started chanting, "Oh, Josef Martinez," like we did back in the day, I participated in that because I have respect for the man,
Yeah, absolutely. And that is what it is. It's yeah. I mean, Josef Martinez. These were 2 poacher goals essentially, and yeah, I mean, you just don't give him that time and space. And I think you're absolutely right. He fed off that energy. Like he got the cheers when he came in. He, when his name was announced. When he scored the goals. It's just like we can't do this. Like this is how you get dunked on. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. And yeah, after the match, great. But I mean, this type of game for you, I mean, coming in, it's like, I think it's a vicious cycle, obviously, with kind of the things that kind of feed into each other. But players coming in, for the warm up, and they see, yeah, it's pretty much empty. Oh man, like, okay, Miranchuk, he did the video.
Yeah,
it's really that effective. And it's like, okay, well, obviously players are going to get more amped up when they see, like, okay, all right, yeah, this place is packed, there's this energy, all that, back when that was the case, they feed off of that. But it's this vicious cycle of, okay, well, the team's not playing well, so fans aren't showing up. Okay, well, the players get demoralized. Okay, well then, again, more people stop showing up, and then this is what happens. You get this, where less than, I would say, 20,000 people show up. Yes, we have all the caveats that we can say with the air quality, with the various other things, with the hurricane, all very real, all very serious things that should take precedence. But let's not look at it in a vacuum. Like this, it's not because of those things that this is the only thing that why it looked like this tonight. Like, it's been looking like this. It's just the worst it's ever looked.
Yeah, it's been manifested a lot more than it has been here.
Exactly. And so, yeah, for you, like, being in that supporter section, you mentioned things feeling off. You don't have to get into it, but kind of being in the thick of it, and then kind of hearing the echoes around the stadium, where it was very lackluster. And I'm right there in the reserve supporter section, trying to get the other people around me to give some sort of energy. They're all sitting now. Like, there's no onus, there's no like responsibility of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I should stand like everybody else. But yeah, how are you feeling?
They're also bored.
102. I'm looking at you. 102.
On the left, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also bored. They had nothing to stand for.
I will say there was one nice lady who came over to me at the flag and said, "I'm trying to follow you in the chants." And I said, well, go to atlchants.com and listen to the capos, because they're your guide, But I'm flattered you listen to me and my bad singing.
Inspired by your effort.
Yeah. I heard the capo say that very early on too. Like, go to atlchants.com if you need to learn.
They say that
chant
all the time, or they should be saying it all the time.
Oh, and
that way.
Speaking of chants, and I know Nick probably saw my comment earlier this week in the Discord. I'm still fighting, and I will continue to fight for having, as long as Saba's on the team, a chant for the On the Champs-Élysées, that song, but instead of going Oh Champs-Élysées, it's Oh Labzhenitze, because it just fits, and that would be fun to chant with a whole group of people. So I'm going to continue to fight for that. And I'll send my application to atlchance.com, and we'll see what they say. They've been blacklisting me for a while now after a couple of really, really, really bad suggestions, but I feel like this one's really going to hit. So let me read a couple of these things, and then we'll get to Nick's final thoughts about the game. Kyle Appiger says, I was baffled how much I saw Miranchuk near the midfield when we were in the attacking third. Need him forward, not in the midfield. Xavier Sosa says, I'd like to point out our last home win was against Columbus on July 20th, which is the last game before the League's Cup tournament. And we have one more home game left. Embarrassing. Shannon also...
If you think about it, and let's make sure that indomitable. Sure. Yeah, to speak on that.
Oh my goodness. AJ, your thing is doing it again, so turn off the camera, turn it back on. I don't know why it does that. It's so weird.
Reset.
Anyway.
I don't even know what's happening, but yeah.
Neither do I. It's very weird. But anyway, it's fixed. Yeah, so anyway, what were you saying before I read some more?
I think I lost my train of thought, but yeah, just keep going.
Okay, so Shannon says the team is losing because this season Atlanta United have always had a team within the team. The team was never cohesive. That is a kind of confusing sentence, but I think we kind of even said that a bit. That they didn't have.
Means like clicks.
Yeah, there's no chemistry, which is kind of like what we were saying earlier. So yeah, I think we nailed that. Chris A1 Products More says, I've been giving my tickets to my customers. Hope they don't hold that against me. I mean, you can still have fun at these things. I mean, I'm sure Nick does. AJ probably sits there as a curmudgeon the whole time. But, when I go, I at least have, fun regardless of what the performance is because, we have extracurriculars that we do. So, come out to tailgates and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So Christopher Rye also says, one positive is that our backup striker, Rios and Tiare, have been pretty good considering all things. But unfortunately, they have had to play way more than expected due to the Geo transfer. That's true. And Jeff Vanderland says, this is the guy who gave us the $10 earlier, and I asked him for the story as to why he's in Las Vegas, and he says, my wife was a professor at Emory University through 2019. She took a new job at University of Las Vegas, had tickets from the first game at Bobby Dodd through moving away. Now I watch Apple TV and you. Well, appreciate it. We very much appreciate you watching, and I posted a link to the Discord as well. Join our community over there. You can talk to us and our community as well, and keep up to date with everything that we're doing and everything Atlanta United. Lex Zone 6 says, Joseph scoring a brace tonight was poetic justice. He also says, man, we ain't won a game in forever. What analysis there to even have? I mean, yeah, that was kind of our point. 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's basically that. It's like so we haven't won a home game since July. I don't think we've won in 6 games apparently. That's not as bad as the Gonzalo Pineda era, but it's almost there. We didn't win a game in 2 months, right? And then that's when he got the axe.
Between March and the Toronto match. No.
Yeah. So it's been a minute too. Yeah, that new head coach bump was real, and now it is very much we are languishing, and the ideas are stale. We don't have the adjustment in game to pretty much kind of make sure that any sort of game state, we have it figured, and we can play a different way. We have one way of playing right now that we can score goals. Essentially, it's playing direct route one. What was our goal tonight? Pretty much cross it in, head it in. That's what we got. And playing in terms of an incisive way has not been our MO in quite some time.
Yeah, 100%. Nick,
I will say that we kept passing the ball around in the second half, and at one point I said, all that passing is pretty. Where's the action?
Yeah.
People aren't moving. And
Yeah.
so that's why, yeah. And then when they do move, they're not rewarded, and
They're just so off. They're not on the same page whatsoever. It's frustrating. Yeah, I mean that's just the bottom line. They don't move. There's too much stale. No one is like when you see sometimes when like a guy goes, all right, I'm just gonna make a run, and the other guy kind of even like predicts it, and that ball goes, and the defense is just completely caught. And it's great to see. We just like never do that because they don't predict each other. They don't know when the other is going to make their move, and so like when they do make their move, it's late. The guy then goes, oh, he's making a move. And then by that time you saw like a couple of times in the game where the defense read it and intercepted it because it was so slow.
Yep. Yeah. So something that Josef Martinez used to be lambasted was being offside a lot. How many offside calls did we get this game?
Good point.
There were none in the entire game, if I'm not missing anything. For
There weren't
either side.
Yeah.
I think Montreal, I remember one from Montreal, but for us, not very memorable. So if that doesn't tell you a whole lot, is that players aren't making runs. So you want to be offside a lot because you're like nearly there. You're playing on the shoulder. You're trying to curve your run. Okay, oops, I was offside.
You're keeping their defense honest and scared too, Like Giacomakis did that. He got offside a lot. It was great to see. So hopefully we can get back to that. But yeah, Rios is just in TRA. TRA does get offside a decent amount, but Rios really doesn't, unfortunately. So yeah, Nick, final thoughts before we let you go.
I don't know what the mentality of this team is now. It's such a hard thing to read. It should be easy to read because we've seen the product on the field. But I don't know what I don't know what headspace they're gonna be in playing the Red Bulls again this coming Saturday. Basically, with their back to the freaking wall now, on any chance of being in the playoffs, and I'm starting to feel like we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and I know a lot of people have said that tonight. I'm starting to feel like I can't possibly go through the playoffs with this team if they were to make it. Because our only shot at this point, literally, is the 8-9 game. Because Charlotte clinched tonight, and that's 7 teams already in the East. So we're only making 8 or 9, and it's the player go home game. And if you were to survive that game, you get the 1 seed in a best of 3. That's not where I'd like to be at all. I'd rather us not play than have to go through that.
Yeah, there is the bye for being the number 1 seed, but
that's right.
Yeah, but still,
whatever, we get the top seed remaining. So
yeah, I also I want you to stick around for those. Unfortunately, it's not going to be great for you to hear, but basically we have New York Red Bulls and Orlando City historically, our 2 biggest rivals, I would say. Charlotte, Nashville, all that, whatever. That's hasn't been really serious. Let's be honest. But those 2 games decide if we go to the playoffs or not. You don't think that these squads, these clubs are going to want to play spoiler for us, keep us out of the playoffs? Yeah, this is
especially after Red Bulls didn't beat us last time. They're going to be like, what the heck? Yeah. Like, they're our whipping boy. Yeah. We need to get back to that.
Yeah. This is like MLS script writing at its finest, unfortunately. In a very twisted and masochistic way. For us, anyway.
For us, yeah.
Yeah, because...
This is beyond masochistic. We're past that point.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, what's the extreme of masochism?
And masochism can get extremely extreme, so I'll just say.
Yeah,
last night I expect to talk about this
podcast. We don't need to get
this is Late Night Fate TV After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. We're approaching midnight. It's getting a little crazy. All right, Nick.
Live from the Eagle.
Yeah. Any last words before we move on, Nick?
Talk about those rival games. at this point in time, we are our own worst rival. Yeah.
Ooh. Well said.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the players are in their heads,
Yeah.
and they can try to put on a facade of determination all they want, but the performance on the field shows everything.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
That is it.
Completely agree. Thank you, Nick. You have a good rest of your night, bud.
We'll see you Saturday.
Take care.
Be well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Let's read a couple of these before we get our next guest on. So Christopher Wary says, I have received several emails over the past 2 weeks to join the wait list for season tickets. I doubt there's a list at this point. Legzone6 says, yeah, we're experiencing what DC United fans experienced after they won MLS Cup in their first season. To a degree, yeah. Anu says, there's really no analysis of the match. We are in awful shape. What's crazy is that even when we lost, it didn't feel as bad, and we were still excited when a player came up to the capo stand. That was back, when we were good. My friend is trying to get on it later this month. I told her, don't be surprised if you get a call to sign up. The waiting list is gone. Legzone6 is, dude is that blackface. Jack Dickens, good to see you again. He says, the season has been over since Almada and Gigi left. Yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying. Legzone6 says, simply put, Atlanta United has too many players that don't give a fuck about the club they play for. It seems like that's been the case for a little while. I thought we were going to get back to having more respect for the badge, with Gigi and Almada era, but just didn't seem, it wasn't able to stay consistent, unfortunately. Kyle Appiger says, this offseason, we need a statement signing for either the whole season or to come in mid-season. Need that face to sell tickets because we have been lacking badly. Let's not forget we are without Lennon Saturday. We should be toting these games as our challenge to show our worth. Two rivalries that can prove to the fan base that they will fight. I mean, unless your name's Miami or Columbus, I really doubt we're going to be fighting a lot. So, who knows? I don't think they're going to get up for Orlando. But I know Orlando's going to. So, it's going to be, unfortunately, rough. So, AJ, do you have anything to say about that while we're waiting on our next guest? Oh, I do have some breaking news as well that we can get into in a second.
Go for it.
Okay, so the breaking news is something very funny. So, as probably everyone knows by now, Inter Miami has won the Shield tonight, the Supporters' Shield. This is the award you get for having the best league record in the season. If you don't know, this award is gifted by the Independent Supporters Council. So this is the supporters groups of the team. Fun fact, none of Inter Miami's supporters groups are registered with the Independent Supporters Council. So, the 4 of their groups, they've applied to join. However, if none of them are accepted, their supporter group won't be able to hold the shield. So, it seems like there's logistical errors of trying to get the team the shield from the supporters, because they obviously, a lot of these supporters groups have just miraculously sprung up since Messi had showed up. So yeah, interesting, fun stuff to talk about there.
Absolute comedy.
Yeah.
And the city of Miami doesn't know how to do sports. They don't know what a sports team. That's crazy.
Yeah, what's a sport? So
yeah,
all right.
Let's be real. It's not Miami.
That's right. It's Fort Lauderdale. So
Fort Lauderdale FC.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and that is the wonderful voice of Connor. Connor, welcome to the show. It's a little after, or it's about to be approaching midnight. How are you feeling? Are you drinking some coffee, or are you just perpetually awake due to how jarring this match was for you?
I'm a late night guy anyway, so.
True. Same. Big same.
Yeah. I'm a late night person, so, but definitely the Braves and the Atlanta United have been keeping me up recently, but it's been rough. It's just a world of hurt right now.
Yeah, it really is. So, was there anything you wanted to talk about regarding this game in particular?
I don't know. I got there late. I got there like 25 minutes in.
Didn't miss anything.
But no, yeah, I was watching anyway. But yeah, it was a rough time. It was surprisingly in the first 25 minutes we didn't look good, but we didn't really look like we were gonna concede either. Like they had that one chance where they hit the post on like a nothing shot, but other than that, I was like, they're creating nothing. But kind of both again two meh chances where we just don't do anything defensively, and they get a nice shot off Joseph's first, and then the second one is just classic Joseph. We're walking out of the stadium and literally somebody was like, they're like, that's a classic Joseph goal in the second one, and I was like, 100%.
Yeah.
Beat the defender with a good ball in and near post goal.
Yep.
Wish our strikers knew how to do that.
We used to have that guy.
Yep. We used to make those runs. No one makes those runs.
Nobody.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like, yeah, we try to pump balls into that area sometimes, but yeah, no one's there, so it's just like, okay, well, keeper collects it, no big deal,
Yeah.
not too dangerous.
Yep.
Or hitting it to the back post way too many times, no one's home, or they're inaccurate. I mean, but yeah, I mean, the second half, you know, with kind of, I guess, the number of chances that we did create, I mean, there were misses. Was there one that was a bigger miss for you than the others?
Savas it's a big miss just because I think it was such a good opportunity. I think it was probably a bit harder than I think. I sit right behind the goal right there, so I literally saw it hit from my angle. I see it hit the crossbar, and I thought it was going to go into the roof of the net, and I was going to see it go in there, but it just hit the crossbar and went out. But I think it was probably a bit harder than I think it was. I think it was kind of a bit of a half volley type thing, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, a lot of bad balls in the second half. It was a rough one. We had some slight chances, but I think so many of it was just half crosses, or just it was bad. And there weren't that many that were that clear. Saba's was it was just him, the ball, and the goal. That was and there weren't that many of those. So I think that was a big miss for me. But
because I see why he was trying to aim for the roof of the net, but I think he had the whole left side of the net to aim for, and the keeper wouldn't have gotten to it. But I get it, but it's still, yeah, that's a pretty egregious miss. The one where he hits it right at the keeper, I think that one for me, that extra touch, just taking too many touches in the box, you're not afforded that. I think that just shows a bit of the lack of confidence from many of the players, is when you take too many touches in the box. That's really how you miss, because it allows the opposition to close down. The most clinical strikers take 1-2 touches, and they bury it because it catches them off, off stride, off guard, everything. But yeah, as far as I guess, you being on the other side of the stadium, obviously you can hear the echo of the chants from the supporter section. What's the experience like over there right now?
It's kind of, I feel a lot of it's a lot of new people, which is kind of there's a lot of, there's the same people. So I've sat in the same seats the whole entire since 2017. And there's the stronghold of people that I sit next to that are that have been there the whole time, and then there's one family that sits behind us that have been there for I think they're going on 2 years now. But other than that, it's just resale tickets or new people that are just it's, I don't know, it's not a lot of continuity. There's a lot of people that, quite honestly, it's good. They're getting to see games, but it's just
yeah, we're not gatekeeping here for sure. That's definitely something we're not
100%.
doing.
You're wanting those people and the people that used to come,
exactly,
and
yeah.
even more
Correct.
new people. That's the recipe for.
It's also
a good thing.
a great thing is these people if they find their area and like coming there and getting to see every single like everyone and seeing people that are there every week, that's fantastic because that gets them to come to more games.
Yeah.
Like there's only like I think where I sat, there used to be like 5 or 6 of us that were literally there every single game, and now it's like 2 of us. There's like people up the rows because I sit like 3 rows from the bottom, and like I think there's literally like there's one family that sits on the front row, and then there's one person that sits down to the right of me. And other than that, it's all like just turnover people, which I think it's weird that, or it's like it's crazy that it used to be every single row had at least one person that I would see there every single week. So
it's really that like the energy exactly is different. It's going to affect how it is perceived by the players in the stadium. And did we not talk about this in the middle of this season? You know, pretty much we sat here and said, yeah, you know, when the casual fans go, and then if the fervent fans go, because those aren't all just casual fans. Like those people who bought season tickets and are not coming, like I would bet a good number of them are fervent fans, die-hard fans. But unfortunately, yeah, you know, anyone at any point, you can be as die-hard as you want, but you know, circumstances happen.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's hard to. It's right now. It's hard to say that it's worth the, like if you're not, if this is not something that's like, if this is like something that you're struggling with and like that you're like really struggling to pay for, that like there's no, like I don't see it. I don't see how they're like trying to. I don't see any way that they're trying to keep you, like coming back.
But Connor, the value's there.
They dropped free Chick-fil-A today.
I mean, if they gave me like maybe 5 free beer vouchers, I might be like, that might be worth it then. And then I get maybe like a $5, because I saw a seat being sold for $5 in resale. So like $5 ticket and then 5 free drinks. Maybe that'll make my day.
I would bet that $5 ticket didn't sell. Because yeah, I think even the free ones weren't even be able to get given away. It's like, I mean, because it shows in the stadium. Like if they were being bought, if they were being taken up on, well then it would have been more full.
Yeah,
it's the reality, and yeah, the club needs to wake up to that. Like the basically like hiding in corporate speak, like we're past that. Like yeah, it's already like it's been 2 years of that. Like it's not good enough. It's for us to, like, I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Connor, do you have anything that you wanted to address about this game?
This game, we'll see. I mean, I think one thing that I specifically around me, one thing that I was hearing a lot was they were not liking a Johnny playing. They were like, Johnny's a left winger. Why is he coming inside? I'm like, man, clearly that was his role, man. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was working. I was like, Amador's the width. A Johnny comes inside. We find Amador out wide. I was like, tactically tonight, it wasn't like, I thought it was pretty. If we had people, literally, I think if we had a striker making a run half the time, it could have been 4 goals. Because I mean, Amador was putting the ball in the like somewhat decent areas. Like it's.
Amador's incredible. I'm like, for a left back with what he's costing us, like, incredible signing. Like, that was visionary. We need more like that, please. Thank you.
I mean, he works his socks off as well. Sorry, cut you off there.
No worry. I wanted to add to your point, your great point about Fortune. In that, yeah, it's not like, oh, he's playing left wing, he has to be, on the touchline. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, the whole formation thing is fluid. It should not be about these rigidity, because the very fact is, with the rigidity becomes predictability. So rigidity becomes predictability, and when you have players that, they have to be in these areas, or they're playing bad, it's like, no, the whole thing is the whole total football aspect of it. You confuse the defense, and that's how you unlock the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's fine, like somebody making their comments on that, like they don't need to be ragged on or anything like that, but it's just it's completely within the realm of the conversation about tactics. Like, no big deal. But it ultimately is this. It's like, him coming inside opens up more space. They're not playing in the same zones. You're drawing out the defense. It's good things. So yeah. But
anything else about the game?
Looking at, I'm trying to think. What all did we? I thought we. Oh, y'all want to? I don't know. Have y'all talked about the stoppage time and all that situation? I would assume y'all already talked.
We have not actually, and please go on.
Okay, that one was. Ooh. So again, I sit right in front of that. So everyone was mad at it, and I okay. So first the player goes down. I think clearly he had a bleed or something, which because obviously he got patched up and it looked like they were spraying water on him. So obviously he had something. Granted, if he has a bleed and not a concussion, I don't understand why we have to have him sit there for 4 minutes to figure it out. Come on now. And then also I don't understand how we have 6 minutes to begin with, then they sit there for 4 minutes, and then we only play 6 minutes. Like, how does that make any? And then we play 5 minutes. Excuse me.
It was only 5 for the stoppage time, exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
And then we didn't even play 6.
I know. That was oof.
The commentator on the broadcast was like, we're coming close to the end of the allotted minutes, and I think for sure we're going to see a little bit of extra time after that, considering what happened. And then it was, nope, right away. So.
Because, it's into stoppage time that the ball finally is in play. Like, we're in the 92nd minute, I believe, before we even, kick off. And yet we only play 3 minutes, essentially, after that.
Well, I mean, you can't be too hard on Ted Uncle. I mean, a lot of times he confuses a head with a hand as well. So, it can be a little difficult.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll even give him his props. Like, tonight, he wasn't even... I thought he was decent tonight, other than the handball. Like, I was pretty...
that was
game,
weird.
I was, for a Ted Uncle game, I was like, this is pretty fine. Like, granted, I don't think he had that much to deal with, but,
Mm-hmm. It's always bad when you know the referee's name. 100%. It's like, when you don't... When they're anonymous, it's like, okay. Yeah. They might be a good one.
Ivan Bartone. Did I just make everyone scared?
Oh, I know the Lord, what match was he in? I know what you're talking about. Oh, Lord.
There's been a few.
Yeah.
But some of his CONCACAF matches I was a fan of him, but as of late it's a little bit
But I mean, so the ref incidents, I mean, they ultimately didn't change the game, but it was frustrating. And I mean, I'm surprised. I think it's there weren't enough fans to care enough, but in previous years they would have needed security to exit the building. I mean, it was not the case. There was a few little boos, but it was just like people were just like, I just need to go home.
Yeah, seriously, get me out of here. Yeah. It doesn't matter. And then, the whole thing with the extra time, stoppage time is we weren't gonna do anything with it anyway. So it's like,
It's possible, yeah, but not with, yeah, I think the state of kind of their motivation.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it was, early on in 2022 and, early on in 2023, you would have saw some comebacks that were epic.
I mean, we saw the guys, they like, except for I think like a Johnny and one other player, I forget, but like the rest of the team just like ran to the locker room after the game. So they were like, they're trying to get out of there too. I get it, It's tough.
It's also I feel for some of them.
Yeah,
like some of them
100%.
I don't know. It's unfortunate because I think some of these players are being put in positions where they're not good enough, and I think they know they're not good enough, and they're not been given a team that is like. Oh, actually, I just thought of another point that I'd like to get to based off that.
Sure.
But just with that, like I quite clearly with the team, the whole entire team, and also with Rob, like we're not given a good enough. Like I don't think Rob, talking about tactics, I think he's not doing enough. Obviously, like because we're not winning games. But I also like I can't fault him or the players. All of that, like 70-80%, yes. But like that other 20%, they're just not given enough talent on that team compared to some of these other teams that we're playing. It's just not enough. So yeah, anything you want to talk about on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the midfield's obviously like today it's at times a bit anonymous, and Muyamba, it's something. I don't know what it is. I think he also he like can play up to competition and play down to competition.
Yeah.
And for him, I think his ability on the ball has I think he's been lacking in a lot of confidence possibly because his movement has really not been as good as we've seen it in the past. And essentially, he's kind of been more in the more, I guess, defensive aspects of the game versus kind of being that protagonist and wanting the ball, asking for the ball, and getting himself available in those spaces, or making a supporting run, or all that. And I think yes, part of it is a little bit probably I guess acclimation with Moranchuk, but I guess it's also there's just so many players that I think you look at each player and they're like, okay, they're lacking in this to be able to I guess move us forward. And we could go through every single player, but I don't think we should. It would take quite a while, but it's essentially that it's like there in each line there are clear weaknesses that teams can exploit, and it's just a real matter of like, okay, well, what strengths do we have? Like, if I'm talking about like as a opposition team, what strengths do we have to to basically attack them and hurt them? And I think it is this. It's like our concentration on the defensive end is just one of those clear things sometimes that, we switch off, and this is what happens when you have a poacher like Josef Martinez. Get the ball in the box, and he'll find a way to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Josef seems a little bit more mobile these days too. Versus the
3 years removed from the ACL injury.
Yeah, so he bounces a little bit back. I mean, I'm happy to see it for him. It just sucks for us. So.
Probably defenders also giving they're not as. I think Gregerson did a great job today. I think Ted Uncle also there was some hand matches there that Ted Uncle let go there, but
Gregerson gave Josef a little shove. Yeah.
Greg got him wrapped up sometimes, but
yeah,
that's true. It was a beautiful match, and essentially there weren't really yellows until I think the second half. It was kind of like, oh wow, like we're just letting a lot of these go, no yellows.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, as long as it's consistent on both sides, okay, we'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
But
there was a yellow at 39 minutes for
It was a
them.
bad
Duke
challenge, yeah.
on
It
Montreal,
was a bad challenge. Yeah.
and then Lennon got a yellow soon into the second, and then Montreal got a second yellow on Saliba, or the second yellow of the game, not a second on that player, at the 82nd minute.
Well, yeah. Final thoughts.
Oh yeah, the other thing that I wanted to talk about as well. So I was talking about like players' predictability or something that I've seen or that might be concerning for me. Is Marinchuk is very left-footed.
Mm-hmm.
He is very left-footed, and he's very good with his left foot. And I'm not necessarily slightly worried, because I think if you give him players around him where it's not just him forced onto his left foot every time to try and create something, I think it'll be okay. But right now, you can tell that they're wanting him to go on. They're not letting him cut in anymore, especially after that goal against Lord. I can't think right now, but
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Lord, I was like, I cannot think who it was against, but after that goal, I did not. They're really forcing him on his right foot, or they're making him go significantly wider on his left foot, and
Yeah,
I'm hoping that it'll not be an issue in the future, but it's something that I think we got to look at. And
yeah. I think it'll be like, well, if you don't give me the space to do what I want to do with my left foot, then I'll pass to the 9 or the new DP winger we have, or the DP 9 or Saba on the right or something, who all these are dangerous goal scoring threats. So either that's your choice. Either force me to give it a really, really nice pass to a person in a dangerous in a area bearing down on goal, or you let me take my shot. So that's the kind of like forced chess move that forces them to sacrifice that I really want to see more often next year.
100%.
Well, yeah, Connor, thank you so much as always.
Yes.
Pleasure. Happy rest of your night.
Yep.
See y'all Saturday.
Yep.
Indeed.
Take care, man.
Yeah. See ya. You too.
All right, so we might have one more guest pop in just for a minute to say hi, but in lieu of that, I know it's late. I know it's late. We're not gonna have a long conversation with Anu, but if he's available, we'll just say hi, because I knew he wanted to pop in. Let's see, any more guys in the chat? Oh, Alan says hi. I remember Alan. You hang out with him a lot at the tailgates. You probably know him, who wears the giant sombrero and the Atlanta United flag on his back at tailgates and at the game. He's in a lot of like the photography and videography for the club. He says, I hope to see both of you guys on Saturday. I'm bringing a surprise for all the capos and musicians, but I'll make sure you guys will get something from it as well. All right. Well, that sounds fun. We'll see if I can get out for it. AJ, I know, will be there, and maybe he'll just collect, if I can't be there, collect one for me, I guess. And if it's a shot, which I think it might be, you can give AJ two. So so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, appreciate that, Alan. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. That's about it for the comments. Yeah, this is waiting on like a couple more minutes. Get your comments in, because we're going to be heading out of here real soon. Almost 12:30 now. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have 16 of you guys hanging out. Really appreciate it. I mean, this is a dismal season, late at night. Things will get better. And man, like, it's tough right now, but darkest before dawn, all that. It's like, I can't believe it. I can't believe we have 18, well, now it's 18 people watching this late with such a dismal season. Such a crappy game, and you guys are all hanging out. So I really appreciate you guys.
Right. It just shows how passionate all of us really are about the team, and yeah, it really is. Like, it's how much of a letdown Atlanta United have been this season, because people will show up. It's not that, it's like fair weather or anything like that, because I don't think it is. I think it's truly like, it comes to a point, and and you definitely mute the video. But it comes to the point of people have priorities. At some point, they cannot just sacrifice everything in their lives and put it down for LA United. It's
Yeah.
there is a lot of it, but it comes to a point.
Yeah, and hopefully a lot of it gets revived and comes back. Yeah, turn on your camera, say hi to the good people. It's late at night. We're going to get out of here soon. Give us your quick takes, and we'll let you go too.
Dude, honestly.
Got the Martinez kit behind you.
Yeah.
Oh man, just a bit of a reminder.
I'm just ready. I'm just ready to just see what the U.S. is gonna do next week, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's something to look forward to.
I know, right?
Yep. Oh man, it's Pochettino. This will be interesting for sure. But obviously you know him from his time at Chelsea. So how excited are you?
I'm glad that the U.S. actually took it seriously, because once they got rid of Berhalter, I remember people were like, we want this person, we want that person, we want that person. Pochettino, right, is a very interesting hire. I'm glad they actually spent the money. Shoot, that 50 million for Arthur Blank, I think goes somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's an ambitious hire. I applaud them for that. A lot of people say they don't care so much that if it's ambitious, like they're worried that you're just going after a big name. You're not actually going after someone who can be effective. And I'm like, well, maybe he can be a big name and he can be effective. We don't know yet. I think we need to look first and see what happens instead of draw our conclusions already that he won't be effective and he's just a big flashy name.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is though, it's like sure, his accolades, haven't been successful, but for his time at Tottenham and then of course his time with Chelsea, I believe that he can actually, as long as he has a good control of the team, especially with whatever egos he had to deal with, I think he can actually prosper. And of course, with his Argentinian roots, he can help recruit more dual nationals onto the team, especially our Spanish-speaking players.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's pulling any Argentinians away from the Argentinian team.
Yeah, probably not Argentinians, but I mean, there could be ones that obviously have no chance of making the Argentinian squad.
Lucho Acosta.
You gotta remember what's it called? You had that one kid, Kameshi from Inter Miami.
Oh yeah.
Lino Scaloni told him straight up, there's no way you're gonna make this Argentinian team. You're better off just sticking with the U.S.
Yeah,
that's true.
It is this though. I mean, Pochettino, his time at PSG. I mean, one of the things was kind of ego management, and not sure he has that. There are some egos.
Those were the biggest egos in the world. They
were.
That's kind of hard. I mean, how many people can handle They assembled a super team, and you had all the biggest. I don't know if that's yeah.
Dude, it was like a mini Galactical in there.
Yeah.
Mini Galactical, and then of course not even just the players had the ego. The sports director had had that ego as well, and pretty much a lot of people in there because they were thinking, well, we got all this money, we got all these players, we can win all this stuff, and it just fell on their face.
Yeah, but that's the thing is he doesn't have the track record, and so he has it all to prove. So it is, that's the reality, is that he's not someone that's, I would say, has the tried and true track record that maybe we would all prefer, but Yeah, he's got to prove himself. And
But we're not getting that guy, right? We're not getting the tried and true tracker. So I guess.
Yeah. So it is stepping stones in coaching as well.
I mean, really, it just boils down to just like, you know, because like of course, like we have the talent, but we don't have the kind of, we don't have enough talent like a France or an Argentina whatsoever. Because I mean, we were able to get a proven person in Emma Hayes because I mean Emma sees the talent here, and she has an Olympic-sized pool full of it that she can come off of. You know, even with all these players about to retire, she already has players that she has in mind that she can replace them with easily.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't jump at United States Women's National Team? Men's team, not exactly as attractive. But I mean, hey, man, I just want to be competitive with like Uruguay. That's really my goal. I just want to not get walked over by Uruguay. That's my, Then like you can at least be like, maybe we can talk about going up against some of the higher level South American or European teams. But until we're like able to manage a decently high level team like Uruguay, not at the top high levels, but decently high. That's where I want to be right now from Pochettino.
Man, I went on like a 10-day protest, just saying like, "Yo, get that man out of here, yo."
He had to go. Had to go, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything else about this game before we let you go? Because it is late.
Yeah, it's late for this therapy session, but gosh, man, I just can't believe it. I came to that stadium like for 30 minutes before the game starts. Nobody was there. It filled up over time, but it's like, I mean, that Rios attack with Sabo, and you can see Sabo was wide open, calling, "Hey, I got the ball, pass it here." I don't know what Rios was thinking, man. Like, just that would have been 2-2 at this point.
That was clear, obvious in on goal. Did anyone see Sabo walk back to the locker room after the game ended? Because I had a couple chatters in the Discord say that they saw him look especially defeated and depressed after the end of this game.
I mean, dude, it's like that whenever I see them. It's like that every time I see these players go. It's tired, and I just want to go home. Yeah.
I think we're losing you, Anu. I think your connection is dropping.
Yeah, I don't know if it was.
But at least we heard "I want to go home," which is kind of that makes sense to me, to the players, to the fans, to all of it.
Right.
All right. Well, I think a new connection is basically dropped, but we got a nice still frame on there. But yeah, so Anu, if you can hear me, we're gonna let you go because we got to get out of here. It's late. Thanks for dropping by. Maybe we'll see you on Saturday because I know you're there all the time, of course, and so hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah, my internet was already crapping out.
That's okay. It happens, my guy.
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you Saturday, hopefully.
We will.
All right. So, oh my God, it happened again. AJ, reset your camera again.
Oh, dude.
All right, we're good. All right, so I don't know why that happens. If anyone knows why that happens, please let me know. Alan Salazar says, "What's worse, playing Orlando while already being knocked out of the playoffs, or Orlando actually knocking us out of the playoffs?" I think the latter.
Question.
I think the latter. I think them giving us the death knell is worse because they are the ones that were able to do it.
Yeah, we don't need that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to like Fortnite dance on us after like we were already defeated, then whatever. But like giving us the death knell, that's definitely worse.
Yeah. Dancing on our graves is different than killing us. So yeah.
100%. So, all right, that's about it for us. As you all can hear, music is winding down. It sounds very quiet and relaxed now on this playlist. So, it sounds like it's lulling me to bed. It's calling. I think we all need to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. all 14 of you are still managed to stay awake after this 12:30, after this horrific game and horrific season. It's not fully over yet, so we'll see you on Saturday, and the game after against Orlando, and then we will round it all out after that, and we'll talk to you then. So AJ, sign us out, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Indeed. Well, yeah, for Michael, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Good night.